How is it going, NPC Nation? And welcome back to a brand new video. Sorry for being, late for all of this, and not uploading in a while. But I want to talk about this. This video is going to be called "Is Overwatch 2 a sequel?" So Overwatch 2 recently, if you haven't heard the news, I know I'm late on the news, is no longer getting PvE. And that's what made Overwatch 2 a sequel. But it's no longer a sequel to me. It's just Overwatch, just with the number 2 behind it. What makes it a sequel? Giving an online multiplayer game and story mode would have made it a sequel. Because you gave an online multiplayer game a story mode. Now that is no longer the case, they waited 3 years just to say that. Now that PvE is no longer the case and we're not getting PvE, what is Overwatch 2? Is it a sequel? Is it not a sequel? What is it? What is it? Is it something... It's something that's probably stupid. Something that... It's just Overwatch, just with the number 2 on it, and we got the old maps back. Wow, and new characters. They're Overwatch 2 characters. But the thing is, it's no longer a sequel. They just shut down Overwatch 1, put the number 2 behind it, the promise of a PvE this fall, and then the PvE gets canceled recently. So, why are we calling this a sequel? It's not a sequel to the hit video game in 2016, Overwatch. Yes, they just reworked Overwatch and put a number behind it. After a few years of Overwatch 1 being out. But that's the thing. Overwatch doesn't need a sequel if you're not going to make it a sequel. You know what I mean? It's still just a multiplayer game with no story. Yes, we get the story behind the characters and their reveal trailer and stuff like that, where they come from, and the animated stuff. But there's no longer a sequel to Overwatch. So just remove the 2 in the next update. Because there's no point of keeping it there if we're no longer getting a sequel to Overwatch at all. This is what Overwatch 2 is supposed to be. This is the reason I went back to Overwatch, to be honest. Because I thought we were getting story mode, and I've wanted story mode since 2019. Because I stopped playing Overwatch around 2019, around that time, before that. Actually, yeah, around that time. That's why I stopped playing Overwatch. And then I see that reveal, I'm like, oh, cool, I might get back into Overwatch, I'm going to wait a while, though. And then 2 comes out, I'm like, oh. Because Overwatch 2 got announced as well, I'm like, oh, I'll start playing Overwatch again. I'm going to wait for the story mode to get released. We're going to get story mode. Let's go. And we get nothing. Like, Blizzard, come on. The reasoning is they don't have the resources for it. And stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. You're a company owned by a multi-billion-dollar company. So there's no way you don't have the resources to make Overwatch 2 what it is. You just want to focus on other games, which makes sense, which... life to you, but focus on the game that's popular right now, and that's your biggest game right now is Overwatch 2, or not Overwatch 2, but Overwatch. Overwatch is your big game, but you want to make it into a bigger game with a story mode, like WoW and stuff like that. But the thing is, there's no story mode. It's just a multiplayer game. It's just a multiplayer first-person shooter game. It's like most first-person shooters. There's no story, except Call of Duty. There's a story. Battlefield, there might be a story as well. Never played Battlefield, so. But Call of Duty, there's a story, at least. But it's also mostly people play it just to play multiplayer. There's some people that play it for the story, but Call of Duty, there's no point of having a story anymore. It's not as fun as it used to be. But sorry, I digress. Overwatch 2 just don't seem like it deserves to be called a sequel to a game that was never a sequel. Yeah, the only thing different between Overwatch 1 and 2 now that we're no longer getting a PvE is there's no disc. It's digital. It's free. That's another thing. It's free. It doesn't cost $60 or $30 like Overwatch 1 did. It's also free. That's pretty much it. They got rid of Overwatch 1. If you have the disc to Overwatch 1, you still have Overwatch 2. There's no difference. I used to have the disc of Overwatch. I don't know why I'm calling it Overwatch 1. I used to have the Overwatch disc, and now I have it on digital. So that's pretty much it. It's free. That's the only sequel part about it. There's not really a sequel to Overwatch 1. Just call it Overwatch 2.0. That's still Overwatch 2. Just call it Overwatch. Get rid of the 2. It's just rebranded back to Overwatch because there's no point if you're not going to try. Blizzard, if you're not going to try, just get rid of the name 2. Like, I know I'm going on a rant here, but it's true. If you're not going to try, what's the point of calling it Overwatch 2 anymore if it's no longer a sequel? You see what I mean? If it's no longer a sequel, there's no point. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, press the share button, press the like button, press the red shiny subscribe button, press the bell to stay notified every time I upload a video. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.